Okay, so it'll never cease to amaze me how much like pro players don't seem to understand the stats of Call of Duty. I mean, pro players and like, ex-pro players, they'll say things like dynamic aim assist, like that's even a thing. It's not. So, Optic Scumper posted this class. He said, if you use this and drop a nuke, dab me up about it because, it's so good. And he's got the monolithic suppressor, and he's got. Well, let's just build it here in my game here real fast to show you what we're dealing with. A bit silly, honestly. I'm not exactly sure, like, how somebody who is so good at COD can get this so incredibly wrong. What's also funny too is I believe like he's only using 7 attachments, and I don't know why. I don't know why he's leaving an attachment on the table. There's literally a laser sight in this game that helps with your aim down sights and sprint to fire speed, and it's only visible in hip fire. So I'm not sure what he is doing right now, but like the thing is that Scump is so good. Like, he is one of my favorite content creators. I've been watching Scump since I was a kid. He's so good, it doesn't matter to him, right? Because like you could give him the worst M15 class ever, and he can do really well with it, and that's awesome that he can do really well with it. But this is evidence of that, because this is one of the worst builds I've ever seen. So first things first, let's start with the attachments that are pretty okay, and they still, in my opinion, need to be altered. So we have the telescopic stock, and this is like movement speed and hipfire movement speed and strafing movement speed. Not the worst thing in the world. If you're using auto sprint, you'll almost never see the benefits from this because you're never really activating hipfire movement or strafing movement because you're constantly sprinting. In general, for winning gunfights, especially on controller, you want aim walking movement speed. This is basically Stalker from previous CODs. You want to be able to aim down sight and walk at a faster speed. And if you wanted to be more accurate and you wanted the gun to look a little cooler, actually, I'd say the intervention stock for both aim walking movement speed and flinch resistance, that's better. Then he has this on, still, okay, 60 round mag. I don't think it's worth hurting both your aim down sight speed and your sprint to fire speed to only get like what's really in reality a few more bullets in a gun that's so accurate. So I would say 45 rounds with no downside is better than 60 rounds with 3 downsides. So let's do that. I think that's a smarter decision. This grip is not a bad idea. This actually is one of the best grips we've seen in Call of Duty in a long time. I'm hoping we see the advanced stats on this that, it's not just this but better, because this says horizontal recoil, and this is also horizontal recoil, but it's also, more aiming idle sway correction and aim walking steadiness and aiming idle sway delay. This is a good one. This is probably the best attachment he put on the gun. Because then for some reason he thinks he needs the monolithic suppressor. He thinks he needs damage range and bullet velocity on this gun in this game, which is just absurd to me, because this hurts your aim walking steadiness and your aim down sight speed. So you were stacking multiple attachments that hurt your aim down sight speed, brother. I don't know why you're doing that. Don't do that. Use the normal suppressor. Then bullet velocity and overpressured. So this game is built, right after Black Ops 6, and I'm gonna assume that some of the values are very similar, because some of these attachments are very similar. If you were to do this in Black Ops 6, you'd get a bullet velocity like up over 1,000 meters per second. And I can't express to you how much overkill that is. Most of your gunfights with an AR like this are not gonna be beyond 50 meters. So 1,000 plus meters per second doesn't make any sense. You're not playing Warzone, Scumpy. I don't know why you're doing this. This is such overkill. Any amount of missing you think you're doing because of your bullet velocity is in your head. It is a placebo. And if you wanted, though, to make sure your velocity is better, then just do the fusion barrel. The fusion barrel is literally going to help you with damage range and bullet velocity, much like the monolithic suppressor. But even though, it takes up 2 attachments, we're running gunfighter anyway, might as well. This has no downsides. This is the monolithic suppressor with no downsides. So that's just a better option. The monolithic, maybe on some guns, maybe some SMGs might be kind of good. But for this, why would I make my aim down sight speed slower and my damage range and velocity slower. I don't understand this at all. Then you have a slot open. So either get an optic on this thing to get a clear sight picture, or throw on what I think is going to be the most used lasers in the game, which is either going to be this one for damage range and recoil stabilization, but that laser is really bright. People will tell when you're pre-aiming for sure. Or this one. This one is the aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, and the laser is very thin and only visible at your hip fire. And it helps you aim down sight faster and gives you better sprint to fire. And then you have this one on. Horizontal recoil control and recoil stabilization. Scumpy, you know how to control recoil. There's no reason to run the contraband grip. I have literally no idea why he's running contraband when he could be at least doing this for sure, like for first shot recoil. I could see that being good. But in reality, I think the ability to like aim down sight faster is just the better option. I don't know why he wouldn't want to aim down sight faster or have better sprint to fire speed. If he just wants recoil stabilization, like this isn't the worst attachment on his build, but it's crazy that he had so many attachments for recoil control on a gun that just doesn't really fucking have any. So yes, I mean, this is a little bit overkill, but this would be a much better build, right? This would be a much better build. I think if you really wanted to make sure you're getting the absolute best bullet velocity, then you could run this. You don't need more than 2 recoil attachments. You don't even really need 1. You could genuinely run this with like the quick step foregrip, which helps with aim walking, sprinting, movement, and hip fire movement speed. This is really good, especially for auto sprint users. So I don't know why. I don't understand. But this is also good. This would be better. Like, you got to think practically here. I don't know. I wish I was so good that I could run such an unoptimized build and drop a nuke with it like he did in his gameplay, because just a terrible build. Like, I'm not as good as Scumpy, but I know the stats, and there's no way, this game is going to justify, like, on its 6v6 maps, getting like a 900, 6,000, like, 6,000, meter per second bullet velocity. Like, I don't understand it. There's no way the bullet velocity is that slow in the game. I've been able to shoot down UAVs without having to lead them at all, without any bullet velocity attachments, let alone that many. You're more better off running something that increases your damage range, because then at least when you're hitting those shots in the distance, you're dealing the damage. But again, if you want to just not worry about it, fusion barrel, a little bit more consistency across the board, then run over pressurized rounds. So yeah, Scump, your build here doesn't make any sense to me. And again, do not sleep on the 1 milliwatt instinct laser. This thing is really good. I'm wondering if he hasn't looked at the laser stats and not realized how just good a lot of the lasers are in the game, because there's ones now for damage range and for aim down sight and sprint to fire speed. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about my M15 versus Scump's M15 in the comment section below. I'm done ranting about this. I'll see you when I see you.